First of all, folks, what do you think of the lighting? Huh? A little better? That's because Dad did it today.
That is true. It does look pretty good. I just looked right into it. That is so dumb.
Well, next time you'll wear your sunglasses. Oh, you know what we need? We need to bring the microphone closer.
You already cursed, man.
Okay, let's start over.
You already cursed. No, I'll bleep that one out, but we gotta get better about that. This is a kid's show. It's a kid's show.
Whatever. It's not a kid's show. It's an adult. How many kids are going out there and buying cars?
So today...
Thank you. Kid's show.
Okay, so like the title of this video says, we're going to be talking about how my dad and I negotiate car deals. We're gonna focus on new cars. If you want to see a video about used cars, let us know in the comments below. But today we're going to walk through the process that we go through. That right before when I asked you if we could do this video, you said, quote, "We do not lie, cheat, or steal to do it." So that's a good preface to this. But yeah, walk you step by step how we get the best car deals for our clients and just in general.
Okay, the first thing we do is lie, cheat, and steal. No, I'm kidding. We don't. The first thing I do when I'm working on finding a car for a customer is I figure out exactly what car they want. And I email 7, 8, 10 dealers within a 75 or 100 mile radius for that brand to let them know what my customer wants to do, to let them know what colors might be acceptable and what time frame they'd like to do it in, and that I would like for them to provide me with their best out-the-door number that includes a breakdown of all the fees so that I might be able to share that with my client. And I explain to them that the compensation that I receive is strictly from the client. I want nothing from the dealership other than a fair price and a promise to take good care of the customer when they come in to take delivery of the car.
And I guess I'll mention, we're actually no longer taking clients. So sorry if you want us to work on your behalf, we're not in a position to right now. But that being said, take these steps. So like the first step that you just mentioned is you need to know which car you're working with. Because if you're all over the board, if you're interested in a BMW X5, an Audi Q5, and something else that has a 5 in it, a CTX5, is that the Cadillac one?
Could be. Yeah.
CX5.
It's not a DeVille.
People still give you a hard time for that one.
I know.
But
showing my age.
But if you need to have one car and know your trim, know everything, because you need to then identify, like you were saying, Dad, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to you can find 10 dealerships. Because essentially, what you're doing here to get the best price is you're working the dealers against one another, right?
Yes, you're trying to find 2 at least that will provide you with information. If you can find 3 or 4, that's better yet. So that you can share with each of them what your best offer is so far, and give them the opportunity to meet it or beat it.
Yep.
It's similar to when I was actually in dealerships and people would come in. And they were local, and they'd come in and they go, "Well, I want your best price on this, whatever car it was, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to shop that at other dealers, and whoever gives me the best price is going to get the car deal." And I said, I understand that. You live, I don't know, 5 minutes from this store. My guess is, and you correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably where you'd like to buy the car, because this is probably where you'd like to service the car. Oh, well, yeah, of course. So don't get mad at me when I say this to you, but I think you're doing this a little bit backwards. What you should do, and what we try and do for clients is...
Try to do for clients is contact dealers that are far away and find out what they would do to be able to steal a deal from a local dealer. So that they'll give us a better price so that we can then go to the local dealer and say... Listen, the guy 60 miles away is willing to sell the car for this, to have this car deal. Your customer is 3 minutes down the road from you. He should be your customer. You should not let him become somebody else's customer. At the very least, I would expect you to meet this deal on his behalf. And really, if you could, beat it. Let us know what you could do. And I used to tell my customers, go to the outlying dealers, get a price, come back and see me last and say, this is what the faraway guy's willing to do. I want you to at least meet it, if not beat it. And you know what? I would meet it or beat it because he was supposed to be my customer.
you should never, a dealer should never let his customer end up being somebody else's customer. It's your primary marketing area, and you see to it that your customers in your primary marketing area do business with you. There's no excuse not to.
So from a strategy standpoint, or something that, if you're watching this and you're interested in getting the best possible car deal possible, I'll share a story from someone that I did work with last month. And what we did was, at the beginning of May, we started contacting dealerships in an outlying area for a Honda Odyssey. And we were determined to get down to $34,500 out the door. And ultimately, what we got down to is $35,200, which was close, but not quite there. And I had 3 different dealerships working against one another to get us to that $35,200. Plus, there was a $500 Costco gift card benefit as well, because this individual was a Costco member. Fast forward 3.5 weeks to the end of the month. The dealership, I'd been working dealers in Maryland. This was an individual in Virginia. A dealership in Virginia decided to go $34,500 to win this customer's business, because it was 2 days before the end of the month, and they were right in his backyard, or in their backyard. And so they knew they were going to be servicing that car in the future. So why not get the extra unit, help them with volume? And I think that speaks volumes to, you can work dealers against one another, but also timing plays a role. And we have a whole video, one of the ones that I think I may have shot here in the other room of the condo, of you talking about factory to dealer incentives.
I have more than one room?
You have more than one room.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Talking about factory to dealer incentives. And I was texting with a salesperson at who makes the Palisade? Kia? Or is that Hyundai?
Hyundai. Well, it's the
I get
same
the
company.
Telluride. I get the Telluride and the Palisade confused. They're very similar.
So do they.
But he was texting me. He's like, I need 3 more to get to my next bonus level. It's like, yeah, I get it. So you're going to work a shorter deal in order to get there. So I think the combination of knowing what you want, finding a wide range of dealerships, starting far away, coming back in, and if you can layer in the timing of it all, you're kind of setting yourself up to actually have the most effective negotiation and best possible price.
Yeah, it's all about pitting one dealership or 2 dealerships or 3 dealerships against each other, and the ones that never get back to you. You keep trying. I know I do. I either call them, or I send them a second or a third or a fourth, and sometimes a 5th email. I go up the food chain.
Yeah.
From sales manager to general sales manager to general manager to ultimately owner, and eventually, the owner might not get back to me, but it's just amazing how often the general manager will suddenly get in touch with me and go, "Oh, really? Nobody got back to you?" Yeah, nobody's getting back to 98% of your customers, but that's besides the point. But you keep doing this in order to get. For instance, we did a Subaru for a customer the other day, a Subaru Forester with the premium package and option 1 package with, I don't know, $900 and some worth of
Just a quick tangent. People in the comments say, like, I went to the dealership and the salesperson didn't know enough about the car. And it's like, my dad used to say to me, because I used to be really infatuated with like fast cars and cool cars and sporty cars, and he's just like, they're metal boxes. And I never understood that, but after spending 40 plus years around them, I totally get it. Yeah. And so for you not to know all the options,
whatever,
doesn't surprise me.
It's got stuff in it.
Yeah.
Okay, they put stuff in it, and the customer wanted some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had a dealer offer me a number, say $29,000, and I sent that to another dealer, and I said, "How close to $29,000 can you get?" And his response was, "Well, I can't get to the 29, and I'm not interested in matching the 29, and I'm definitely not interested in beating the 29. So if you got 29, go buy the car there."
Yeah.
And then I got in touch with a friend of mine who happens to work in a Subaru store. And so I asked him, and well, his car was $600 or $700 higher, MSRP, but his out the door price was $1,100 and some higher. And I said, "Well, I got less than that from this other dealer. What can you do?" And well, I guess my friend was mad at me because I was pitting him against somebody else, but my obligations to the client, not to my friend. and he never got back to me. And so I was dealing with the customer, and he said, well, what do you think we should do? I said, well, I can't get anybody to come close to that price. I think you should take it. And so then he found one on their lot that was, I don't know, $800 more. And he said, well, gee, can we do that for $29,400? I said, it's $800 more. And the dealer was gracious enough to do it for just the $800 more and didn't charge any more for the extra tax that would be involved. So, but it all boiled down to finding one that was willing to be really competitive to get a deal,
Yeah.
and then verifying that the number we had was the best number we were going to get, because nobody else was willing to get anywhere near it. And by the way, the customer picked up his car Saturday for the number that was agreed upon. Everything went smoothly. He was in and out in a heartbeat, and he got the vehicle that he wanted. His wife is happy, which, well, as we all know, is the most important thing. And if you don't know that yet, then you're young and just recently married.
Kids show. This is life lessons for the kids show.
So you'll find out that making your wife happy is the right thing to do. So you'll discover that. Don't worry. She'll teach you.
No, but so I want to just circle back really quick, because I think it's really important to understand. You find lots of dealerships that have a car that you're interested in. You get lots of quotes, and then you need at least 2 to dance. I want to focus on the quote just quickly here, which is, don't just focus on the internet price. If you go on a dealer's website and you say, oh, well, this dealership has an internet price of $22,500 and this dealership has an internet price of $24,000, well, I'm going to go to the $22,500. I can assure you the $22,500 is about to become $24,000 the moment you step in the door.
Or more,
yeah. So focus on the out the door or on the road price. And my dad and I have talked about this in the past, but that's when you're including, it's essentially, if you needed to write a check to buy that car right there, this is the amount that you'd be stroking that check for.
Yes.
And it's the selling price of the vehicle, the taxes, any applicable fees like a dock fee or a processing fee or other fees.
Registration, title fees.
Title. It's all of that combined. And this doesn't matter if you're financing a car, paying cash, or leasing. Ask for the out-the-door price.
Work on the selling price of the car and the out-the-door price of the car, and then say, oh, by the way, if I were to lease the car based off of this selling price, what would my lease be if we leased it for 36 months at 12,000 miles a year? Or if I were to finance the car based off of this selling price and this out-the-door price, what would my payments be with $5,000 down for 48 months or 60 months, whatever it is? But the thing you want to negotiate first is the price and the out-the-door number. Those are the only numbers that matter.
Yeah.
Okay? Everything else is smoke and mirrors.
And I think let's leave it there. And if you're interested in learning more about maybe the specific language or things you should ask about with like a lease, like I'm already thinking, asking for the residual value, the money factor, is the money factor at the buy rate, like if you're interested in that type of stuff, comment down below, let us know. We can do some more videos specifically around that, but go ahead.
And speaking of language, we received an email yesterday. We received a number of comments concerning the inappropriateness of some of my choices of language.
I called you out on this already.
Well, and unfortunately, having spent 43 plus years in the car business, it's the way. I used to work with a young lady whose family owned the dealership, and well, she made me look like a school kid when it came to cursing. Okay. I couldn't even compare to her. But the point is that that's the way we talk in the car business. And I apologize that it's offensive to some people, and I'm doing my best. And I promise to continue to do my best to use my good grown-up language as opposed to my, I don't know, behind-the-curtain sales manager language, which gets a tad salty at times. And I apologize for the language that I chose in the past, but I will try and choose better moving forward.
I appreciate that, Dad. Yeah. And I will mention, because I know I've cursed as well, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's also indicative of like that type of culture, the dealership culture. Maybe this could be its own video, and I won't go too far down this tangent. But as a customer, when you walk in, you feel like everything's stacked against you, and people aren't necessarily all that friendly. And I've dealt with so many people that have just been really salty and kind of mean to me, and it just makes me wonder how, for each of our, for everyone that's watching this, I mean, they've all kind of had that experience. And I know you really prided yourself proud. We're
Yeah.
proud of yourself. Prided yourself
Of that too.
on making people feel like comfortable and safe, and like they could come in and make a car deal during your career. And we want the same thing here with
Yeah,
with the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I'll do better. I'll speak nicer. I promise. Hey, do we need an outro? I'll keep it clean.
Wear helmets when you bike. I had my first ever accident, and I wore a helmet. So kids, wear your helmet.
Wear your helmet because the dents in the helmet would have been the dents in his head.
Yeah. So I guess with that PSA out of the way, I'm good for an outro.
Okay. Well, folks, I think we're done for the day. Check back again tomorrow. We hope to have some new content for you tomorrow. And I'll study up my thesaurus and see what better words I can use tomorrow.
Do you want to press the button? Do you know how to stop it?